Frank Fiore. Frank, how are you? And you know what? We're getting close to this book launch finally. And you're going to be going with a new publishing company. You're really excited about going with my publishing company with Paul Hollis called Hullaman Publishing, as we're going to publish all four of your Western novels, right?
That's correct. And then two to follow. It's really a six book series, but I got the first four written, and excited to have those launched.
Let's talk about the first one that's going to come, because we've talked about every book as we were doing marketing. Especially if you're following Western authors or the Western group or whatever for Frank Fiore and any of the stuff. But tell us about the one that's going to come out first.
Well, as you know, I'm a multi-genre author, and how I start all my books is with a what if. Okay, and the series, Jonathan Smythe, Cowboy Sleuth, is basically based on a what if. What if Jack the Ripper, who disappeared, nobody knows really what happened to him? Did he die? Did he get arrested? Did whatever? But what if he came to the United States? He escaped to out west, out of the United States in the late 1800s, and from that, I put together a Jonathan Smythe, who is a amateur sleuth in England, who tracks and traces the murders by Jack the Ripper, and he knows a lot about him. And his theory, and this is one of the theories, that Jack the Ripper actually escaped to go out to America. So I put him out west, and I have Jonathan Smythe, who is a gentleman Englishman, okay, bolo hat and all that stuff, well dressed, what have you, and he goes out west in order to look for Jack the Ripper. And each book deals with a Western myth, okay, whether you believe the Western myth or not, but it deals with a very brutal death or brutal murder. The myth does, and so Jonathan Smythe thinks that, hey, okay, that could be Jack the Ripper, and he goes out and he follows through on that myth. And the last book, the fourth book, which I really want to have published first, takes place in Prescott, and where I live. And it works with the myths of the tunnels, like all of the tunnel network underneath the city of Prescott. And back in the 1800s, that was created by the Chinese that came in to do the railroad work and something. But of course, back then, the Chinese were really looked down upon. In fact, they were, the people were very bigoted against them, and they would harass them and what have you. And so they built this tunnel network underneath the city of Prescott for them to get from one place to another without having to be walking through the streets and getting harassed. And so the Jonathan Smythe and Charles Abbott, he's his cohort that goes with him. They go out to Prescott in order to investigate a murder that actually did take place. That's true in Prescott. And by investigating the murder, they get involved with knowing that the murderers are hiding in the tunnels and what have you. And that's also some basic facts too that was going on back then in the 1800s. And so I blended together the story of the myth of the case of the Prescott tunnels, where he has to find out why people are being murdered and why people try to be kept out of the tunnels.
Wow. And I think it's such a great story. It just intrigues the heck out of me to go after Jack the Ripper, but picking specific books that involved Western with Jonathan Smythe, and he has his sidekick, which we'll talk about in another episode, and having them go out and try to chase Jack the Ripper. And we'll find out if they are in different time periods, almost, would you say, in the Westerns, a little bit different time period, each one?
The late 1800s, the turn of the century. That's when Jack the Ripper.
But different areas of the West, right?
Oh, yeah, different areas of the West, yeah.
Yeah. And how the West was won in so many ways. And I think it's different. I don't think anyone's ever written a book like this, right?
No, not with a character being an English gentleman.
No. Yeah, I see it as a definite book movie. If you could really expand on this series, and that's really interesting. People need to definitely go check it out by going to frankfiore.com, and very soon, and make sure you sign up to his email list and start to Follow all his social media sites because soon those books will be announced. He also has Moran coming out very soon. Just be ready for that one. And get Cyberkill and Daijin right now. Appreciate it, Frank.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the
All
opportunity.
right. That was the Western Author Spotlight.